This is my last Martin Luther King Jr. celebration. On behalf of my uncle, whose picture is here today, and all that they survived to make sure that we had a more just community, I speak on his behalf, but most important, on someone who would be 95 years old, 95 years young, just like Dolores Huerta was 1 year younger than him, and you see how vital she is. But think if Martin was still alive, what would Martin say? I look to a day when people will be judged by the color of their skin, but not by the content of the character. I believe Martin would be appalled if he knew that people who believe they're making America great again is putting your foot on individuals to keep them down so that they can prosper and be more prosperous than ever before. Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. We're caught in an inescapable network of mutuality, tied in a single garment of destiny. Whatever affects one directly affects all. This is a letter from the Birmingham jail in Alabama in 1963. The use of the criminal justice system. I believe that Martin would tell you that the use of the criminal justice system to imprison African Americans, poor people, and Latinos in the modern-day prison plantation is wrong. As slavery was wrong before the Civil War, it is wrong now. And we must do a much better job than we're doing right now. Martin Luther King, in The Strength to Love in 1963, wrote, "The measure of a man is not where he stands in moments of comfort and convenience, but where he stands in times of challenge and controversy." Fear of the new KKK, these night riders who surface on your Twitter feeds. Don't be afraid. Stand up to them. Don't be afraid. Don't let them decide what goes on this floor. At the end of the day, as I look at these pictures, with my uncle with hundreds of white racists yelling at him, but he stood tall, and he stood for right. And we know now he was doing the right thing. We shall overcome because the arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends toward justice. Washington, D.C. Do not reverse all of the things that we've worked on, all the tenets of justice to be able to do things in the right way. So when you look at Proposition 47, 57, to try to eliminate it, those are gains. When you looked at affirmative action, how we eviscerated and got rid of it, what has it done to people of color, to women, to people who are trying to come up through this society? Do not let the moral justice that we've worked so hard to get done, do not let things move forward. In a sense, we've come to our nation's capital to cash a check. When the architects of our republic wrote the magnificent words of the Constitution, the Declaration of Independence, they were signing a promissory note to which every American was to fall heir. This note was a promise that all men, yes, black men, as well as white men, would be guaranteed the inalienable rights of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. It is obvious today that America has defaulted on his promissory note insofar as her citizens of color are concerned. Instead of honoring this sacred obligation, America has given the Negro people on the promissory note, insofar as citizens of color are concerned, instead of honoring the sacred obligation, has given the Negro people a bad check, which has come back marked insufficient funds. But we refuse to believe the Bank of Justice is bankrupt. We refuse to believe that there are insufficient funds in the great vaults of opportunity of this nation, of California. And so we've come to cash this check, a check that will give us, upon demand, the riches of freedom and the security. Reparations is something that we need to take up on this floor, and we need not to push back on it because we believe that we're bankrupt. We're not bankrupt when it comes to justice, especially on this floor. And then finally, yes, If you want to say that I was a drum major, say that I was a drum major for justice, say that I was a drum major for peace, I was a drum major for righteousness, all the other shallow things will not matter. This quote was removed from the memorial in 2013, paraphrased from the February 4th, 1968 sermon in Alabama. Yes, we must all be drum majors in the assembly. Every last one of us should be a drum major for justice. In a sense, we've come to our nations, in a sense, we've come here and we've not done all the work that we need to do to move this state, this country forward. As this is my last time here speaking before you, I remember when I first got here and I gave my speech, it was I'm choking up because this not only is my last one, but I can feel what my uncle went through, and I got pictures here. I can feel what the Little Rock Nine went through. I can feel every day when you're being attacked for doing the right thing and standing up for justice, how difficult it is. But I will tell you, it is the most rewarding thing you can do. If you want to really celebrate Dr. Martin Luther King, if you really want to be a drum major for justice and do the right thing, not only do you need to support ACR 116 Wilson, not only today, but as we move forward for my last year here in the Assembly. I thank you.